This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day something very peculiar happened, something that would forever change Stanley, something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. I guess I am Stanley. I just woke up. So, yeah. This time I'm all alone. I don't got my mullet boy with me. And I don't have my cookie with me, so I'm all alone. I'll be going through this whole thing sober this time, unlike last time. And yeah, if anyone has missed my memo from 2 videos ago, like I was saying, I was gone for a while. So yeah, I was gone for 2 weeks because of family matters, and I needed to attend it. So if anyone needs another explanation about it, then you can always like read through the description because I'll put it there. But yeah, let's just jump back to
All of
Stanley.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I
Perhaps
don't
he had simply
know.
missed a memo.
Well, apparently last time I tried to
No matter how hard Stanley
oh
looked,
my
he
god.
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Wait, man, I'm sick and you're talking over me. What the hell, man? Can't even jump. Who farted? Your face farted. That's right, bitches. I wonder. No. No.
Stanley went
Yeah.
around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
What the hell are you talking about, you damn woman? You kept on yapping, yapping, yapping. The hell, man? Let me do whatever I wanna do. Huh? I'm not a woman who needs no man. I mean, I'm not a I'm not a man who needs a woman. What the hell, man? Right. See that? I hate Mondays. More like I hate you. I hate everything about you. No, I can't close, huh? Ah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright. So I've been going to the door to the right, and apparently you're supposed to like what? Go to the left. So let's follow him this time. Let's see where it takes us when we go to the left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Well, I didn't even get to finish it. Alright. Amazing. And then what? Make sure. What? Everyone is unique. You most of all. Yeah? What am I then? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Oh, tell me. Numbers of slides on this slide. Charts, chart, and slides. Wow. Informative. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. The hell? What? Rate of increased graphs per slide. What? Please no more charts. Please. The boss appreciation minute. On your boss appreciation minute, worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. I didn't even get solving interpersonal conflict. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, what? What are your dreams for the future? Nature, transcend, success, life.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why
talk
Stanley and
less.
I are on
You
such
damn
good
narrator.
terms.
Huh? How about that? How to solve a dispute with a coworker. That goes back and forth. You keep on telling that I didn't do anything. What if I'm reading, huh? What you gonna do about it? What to do? What do people want? Things. Well, self-explanatory. Okay. Money. Oh, Mike James, you are fired, he said. Happy feelings. More money. Things but with money to buy more things. Graphs. Graphs about things plus money. We have our new product. Wow. Amazing. The stock market is somewhere here. Wow. Like a pizza. Colored in segment stripes. Requires more secondary research. What is hot? Oh. Target demographics teenagers. Wow. Profits. All the profits. And then what? Size of demographic? There you go. Wow. So, what? So, this graph is lying? This is the actual graph? The teenagers? What the hell? Okay. Space between the teenagers. I wonder. Throw something in the idea idea bins. Some idea bins. Buy quarterly, post review. Wow. Very innovative. We need what? Hopeless? Is that what it says? We need hopeless. Oh well, I guess so. Reviews. 402 plus 405. Want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule. But I think that's a stupid idea. Oh, more water coolers. More water coolers heaters. Who charts need to be more hip to what? Appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Ooh. Big net? Some sort of child trap. Ooh. To do synergize. Core value expenditures. Shift global market parade. Monetize free to play. Okay. But it wasn't monetized, isn't it? See that? Target. Push for fundings for R plus D of new coffee machines. Not cost efficient. Standardized graphs. Why? Who moved to my desk? That's right. Please keep the targets on topic. Ooh. Do not alter without consultation, whiteboard manager. Right. I guess there's nothing much to do here. Alright, boy. I'll go and follow you.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet,
I
but there
did.
was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
You sure? What if I don't want to turn around?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Nah, there's a reason. There's always a reason. Look at those duct tapes. You can just
It
put
was
it all around
baffling
it.
that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything.
I
At
was
least
doing
if there was
something.
something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
I
As
was
it is,
trying to pick
he's
up stuff.
literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
What do you mean by doing sweet FA? Huh? Sweet fuck all? Yeah, I was.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
I am.
Standing around doing nothing?
What you gonna do
Why?
about it? Huh?
Please offer me some explanation here.
Right.
I'm
Hit me on the
genuinely
face. I
confused.
dare you. Huh? I won't move. Just hit me. Come on, man. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for your fist to fly all right in my
You do
face.
realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
No, I
If
don't
I'd
realize
said
it.
Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story.
What if it has significance,
whatsoever.
huh? What if
I
I
never would
wanted
have
to
thought
have
to mention it.
significance, boy? You mentioned it. You did mention it. You.
Maybe to you, this
What?
is somehow its own branching path.
Yes, it is.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
Oh yes, it
I
is.
hope your
I
friends
like a
find
lot.
this
Yeah,
concerning.
I actually like the broom closet ending. I found it really appealing.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
What?
He
Hey,
probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's
how
stupid
did you
he
not
is.
know?
That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That's right. I am. I love hookers. I love it when they jiggle
Well,
on
I've
my
come to a
butthole.
very definite
the
conclusion about
fuck?
what's going on right now. You're dead.
I am
You
dead.
got to this broom closet,
I'm dead.
explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of
I'm
some
so
sort
dead.
shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Oh yeah?
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
What if it's decomposing
Anyone
right
who
now?
happens to be nearby, the person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities.
What if
It's
I am
indicative
dead
of
right
the
right
long-term
in like real life,
sustainability
huh?
of your
What you gonna do
species.
about it? You gonna
Please
call for
remove
help?
their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer.
Oh, wow.
Making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming.
How dare you,
So
boy.
that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
Ah,
All
but
right,
what if
when
it
you've
is?
done that, just step out into the hallway.
Nope. There you go. Oh, look at that. I opened the door. What you gonna do about it, boy? Oh, I opened it again. Oh, I close it now. Oh, and then I open it, and then I close it now. What you gonna do, boy? You gotta say something about me saying something? That's right, you can't, because you've been talking too much. You've been talking too much, narrator. Guess you suck. You know what? Well, did he open the door? I think it did. I didn't open the door, you did. How dare you? You really want me to go out? Okay, I go out, right? Boom.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to.
Yeah.
Fish, fungus.
What you gonna do?
You can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
I will be waiting for you to die. What if I just want you to die right in front of me, narrator? Oh, look at that. I open the door. I open the door. I close, I open the door, and then I'm back. Ooh. Come on, say something. I dare you. I dare you to say something. I dare you right now. I dare you, my friend. I dare you. What, you're not gonna say anything? Huh? Speechless much? Huh? You speechless because I control your life now? Alright, let's go on. Okay. I swear to God, if that broom closet closes.
Coming to a
Ah!
staircase, Stanley
No!
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, how dare you! How dare you! What the hell, man? What he said? He said something. I think he said going upstairs. Okay. Let's go upstairs. Let's go upstairs, baby. Oh my god, we are upstairs. Look at that. We're upstairs right now. What?
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't
He
do it.
considered the possibility of facing his boss,
Yeah.
admitting he had left his post during
I
work
hate my
hours.
bosses, you know.
He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
What?
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Maybe
All
you're
of my
crazy.
co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a
Blinking.
single moment for no reason at all.
You know
None
how
of it
cool
made any
that would
logical
be?
sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Like
For
what?
example, why couldn't he see his feet when
Whoa!
he looked down?
What
Why
the
did
hell?
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Exactly.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty
Excuse
familiar.
me.
Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
It
But at
is.
last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
What it
He
was.
just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled.
Are you?
This is all a dream.
Is it really?
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
What if
He
he
thought
is
to himself,
crazy?
I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm
Oh,
still
my real life
lucid.
job is not pushing
So,
buttons.
he imagined himself flying and began to gently float
What?
above the ground.
Hey!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield.
What?
And it too appeared.
Whoa!
It was so much
Whoa!
fun. And Stanley
Yeah,
marveled
bro.
that he had still not woken up.
Damn!
How was
Look
he
at all the
remaining so
stars.
lucid?
What?
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Why is there a
Now
gay
the
in my
voice was
head?
describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about
I'm
how it's describing my
dreaming
thoughts, he
of a
thought.
white
And while he thought it all very odd
Christmas.
and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How
What
could
is
it
it?
be?
What is
Was
it then,
Stanley
huh?
simply deceiving himself?
Yes.
Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
You sure about that?
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
What if I'm
Now, hearing
asleep?
the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt,
Stanley?
that this was in fact a dream. Did
Is
the
it a
voice not see him
dream?
float
Yeah.
and make the magical stars
Open
just
the
a moment
door.
ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
I don't
this
know.
voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
He's having a mental
He
breakdown.
would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that
yeah?
this was a dream.
Oh yeah?
So he closed his eyes gently,
Oh, I did.
and he invited himself
oh,
to wake up.
oh.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin,
Oh.
the press of the mattress on
the
his back,
press of the mattress on
the
my
fresh
back.
air of a
Ooh.
world outside this one.
Oh yes.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
Oh yeah?
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
I
Let me
wish
go back
that
to my
you're
job.
over.
Let me continue pushing the buttons.
Yes.
Please.
Just the
It's
buttons.
all I want.
Just
I want my
no
apartment
ABC.
and my wife and my job.
Wait,
all I want
the
is
hell?
my life exactly
How did you know
the
I have a
way
wife?
it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
I am abnormal.
Everything will be fine.
Everything's not fine.
I
Because my life
am
is abnormal.
okay.
I am not okay. I'm not okay. Look at that. Oh, look at that. How amazing.
Stanley began screaming.
What?
Please, someone wake me up. My name is
Oh,
Stanley. I have a
please.
boss. I have an office. I am
I have
real.
a
Please,
dick.
just someone tell me I am real. I
But I
must
think
be
it's
real.
not
I
real.
must be. Can anyone hear
Oh,
my
everything's
voice? Who
turning
am I? Who
red.
am I?
Who are
And
you?
everything went black.
Boom.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Hey, yo, what?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And
Damn.
although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He
He
was
did.
obviously
She did,
crazy.
yeah.
This much she knew.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
What if
I
Mariella
am
was my
sane.
wife?
I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way,
Damn.
seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
She ran. Ed, she ran. Alright. I think, well, because I didn't really get to see what's down there. Let's try and see.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
What? 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 That's something new. He didn't say that before. What the hell? Alright, wait! Don't close the door on me.
No, apparently not.
What? To study room 117. Oh, there's something there. Apparently not. Oh, he skipped right through what he was gonna
Stanley
say.
came to a set of two open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Alright, let's enter the door to my left.
Yet there was not a single person
Yeah,
here
yeah,
either.
yeah. You
Feeling
don't
a
want me to
wave
go
of
there, and you
disbelief,
don't want me to
Stanley
see this.
decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
I
upstairs
did.
to his
I
boss's
walked
office.
upstairs. Alright, amazing. Look at me, I'm walking right
But
upstairs.
Stanley just couldn't do it.
I couldn't do
He
it,
considered
and
the
so could
possibility
you.
of facing his boss. Admitting he
What
had
is
left
right
his
here, huh?
post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he
I
believed
wonder.
everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
What if
And
I
then
am?
something occurred to Stanley.
Wait!
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of
Wait.
my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it
Oh.
made any logical sense.
What?
And as Stanley
Okay.
pondered this, he
Okay.
began to make other strange observations.
Now it
For
makes
example,
sense.
why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
It makes
Why
sense
did
now.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these
So
rooms
this
were
is what
starting
was
to
gonna
look pretty
happen if I
familiar.
were to
Were
just
they
go
simply
go
repeating?
through everything.
No, Stanley said to himself.
Okay.
This is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He
What
just
was
hadn't
my
found the words
conclusion,
for
huh?
it. I'm dreaming!
Yes, I am.
He yelled. This is all a dream.
What if what if it
What
is,
a
huh?
relief
You gonna
Stanley
do
felt
about it?
to have finally found
And
an
do
answer,
shit,
an
boy.
explanation. His co-workers weren't
Coffee nut.
actually gone. He wasn't
Coffee
going to
nut.
lose his
Ooh.
job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Ooh, ooh.
He thought to
Oh!
himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Might as well.
So he imagined himself flying and began to gently
My
float
real.
above the
What?
ground.
Whoa.
Then he
I'm
imagined
flying.
himself soaring through space on a magical star field.
Whoa.
And it too appeared. It was so
Everything is
much
so
fun.
cool.
And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken
Whoa.
up.
I'm so
How
high
was he
right now.
remaining so
I see
lucid?
stars. Oh shit.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
What is it?
One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
I didn't ask myself
Why
like
is there
once
a
or
voice
twice
in my
or not.
head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Because you're gay.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley,
That's
who
right.
found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice
I'm
describing me, thinking about
dreaming
how it's
of a
describing my
life.
thoughts, he thought.
Christmas.
And while he thought it all very
Just
odd,
like
and
the
wondered if
ones
this voice
I
spoke to
used
all
to
people in their dreams, the truth
know.
was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
How could
Was
it be?
Stanley simply deceiving himself?
Ooh,
Believing
what
that
if I
if
go
he's
back?
asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Oh wow. I
Stanley
couldn't
is
go
as
back.
awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Alright.
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would
Damn.
prove that he was in control.
He was
that this
becoming
was a
insane.
dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he
What if I
invited
don't
himself
want
to wake up.
What?
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the
Cool
mattress
weight
on his
of
back,
the blanket of the skin.
the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Excuse me.
Let me wake up, he
Let
thought
me
to
be
himself.
the one
I'm
to
through with
break
this
it
dream.
up
I wish it to be
so
over.
you don't have to make
Let me go back to my job.
excuses.
Let me continue pushing the buttons.
No,
Please.
I
It's
don't
all
want
I
to.
want.
I don't
I
want
want my apartment and my wife
I don't have
and
a
my
wife.
job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Oh my god,
My
excuse me.
life is normal.
I'm
I am
abnormal.
normal.
Everything's
will be
not fine.
I
I
am
am not okay.
okay.
You're gay. That's right. What you gonna do?
Stanley began screaming.
Oh
Please,
no!
someone, wake me up. My name is
Wake me up
Stanley. I have a
inside.
boss. I have an office. I am real. Please,
Save
just someone tell me
me.
I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Whee! Yay,
And everything
baby!
went black.
Boom.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
That's Mariella to you, bitch.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
She
She
arose.
rose, got dressed, gathered her belongings,
she was
and walked to her
aroused.
place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Damn.
And although she would soon turn to go call
had
for
a
an
no.
ambulance, for
I had
just a
a-
few brief moments, she considered the strange
I had a
man.
stumble and I died.
He was obviously crazy.
Damn, I
This
fumbled
much
her
she
and I
knew.
died. Amazing.
Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to
Probably
herself
asking
how
her
lucky
out
she
and I was like,
to be normal.
wait a second. Let me just
I
catch
am
my breath.
sane. I
Just
am
fall to the
in
ground and
control
die.
of my mind.
Damn, dude.
I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this,
Just imagine
and
that.
in a certain
You're like,
way, seeing
ask
this
a
man
girl
made
for
her
her
feel
number
better.
and
But
you tell
then
her,
she
1
remembered
minute.
the meeting she
Give
had
me 1
scheduled
minute
for that day.
to catch my breath
The very
after
important
trying to
people
chase you.
whose impressions of her
And
would
later
affect
on, you
her
just fall to the
career,
ground
and
and
by
die.
extension, the
How
rest of her
embarrassing is
life.
that?
She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
She did, yeah. Probably didn't want to see you. Alright. This is the story of my penis. Alright.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Where? Where? How? What are you talking about? No. So this is different. He said something different. It's no longer the same every time I die. I like work. I just hate my boss. Okay. He said something different this time. The hell? Okay, just in case. Awaiting input. Input receiving. What? What do you mean? Okay. Okay, there's nothing I can do here. He didn't say anything this time. Yeah, he didn't say anything this time. Last time he was saying something that there was something going on to the rooms 417. Wow. Okay. He just completely ignored it. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's enter the left. Let's make him happy this time. Let's try not to mess with him. Maybe he'll change.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright. Just wait a second. Let me just sip on my coffee. Ugh, okay. Can't open that door. Alright. We are here now. Executive bathroom. Wait, why would you have that as a sign? What? Okay. What? So I can't check what's on the other side. Business time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him.
Oh.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
But
of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Yeah, I'm really dumb, man. I don't know it, you know. What did he say? What did he say again? I think it was like 2846.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Yeah, you know, it's like realistically, I wouldn't really think about it, but let's say it was
2845.
2485. Okay, it was.
Stanley
I think it was
began
correct,
entering
right?
random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination.
Yeah.
If he knew that the combo was 28, forgot. But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself.
What?
And Stanley got the hell along with the story.
He skipped.
Well, whoop-de-doo.
He skipped through his dialogue and it just said something different. What? Let me get it again. 2845. 2845. 4, 5. Okay. I mean, I got it. I got it correctly. Oh wow, man! All just for me. Going, what? It's not gonna close, right? Not gonna close, right? Can I have a flashlight, please? I'm lost. You know, as I become older, uh, I've encountered like I've encountered kids, and lately, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the kids that I've encountered, they don't know how to say please. Like when they want something, they just tell me, "Hey, can I get this one? Hey, can I get that one?" Like, man, where your manners at, man? No! You know, kids that are growing up now within this generation, it's like they don't know how to say please, and
Descending
they
deeper
don't know
into
how
the
to say
building,
sorry.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his
And
chest,
I sound
as
like a
though he
kid.
felt more free to think for
That's
himself,
even more
to
to think about.
question the nature of his job.
But I'm not a
Why did
kid.
he feel this now, when for years it
And
had
yet, if I
never
was,
occurred
I
to him?
would be probably
This
having more
question would
manners
not
than
go
the
unanswered
current
for long.
generation now, even though I cuss a lot in these videos. Wow. Horrible. Wow. Horrifying. Just mix the two meaning, horrible and
Stanley
horrifying.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I actually walked right to the mind control facility.
Although this passageway had the
What?
word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
What? What do you mean? Violent death. Is it a jump scare?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Yeah, I think it was like really
At this
violent.
point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I confront everything that's gonna stand right in front of me. Let's die! Woo! Yeah, baby! What? Boom. Yeah!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he
What?
resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, narrator. It was nice knowing you. Goodbye. What?
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body,
I
killing
died.
him instantly.
I died. Oh my god. I died. Narrator. It was a it was a good run. But you suck. Suck, narrator. Narrator, you
And yet it
suck.
would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Yeah, you sucked. What? No? I'm back, right? I think I am. I'm back. Yeah, I am. What was I doing? What the hell? was checking how far am I?
When every path you
What?
can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you
Damn.
see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Damn. That is quite deep, madam. How deep can you go? That's what she said. Nature paintings. But apparently, this is all an elaborate ruse. This is Stanley's computer? What? What the fuck, mate? Office layout. Wow. So all of these were planned. Corridor. The 2 doors. Yeah. It's all planned. It was a ruse. The office 1, 2, 3. The button sounds? A selection of sound used throughout the game when buttons are pressed each. Oh! Oh! Okay. Filing cabinets, yeah. So they are basically showing me the computers. I mean the credits. So is this the true ending? I don't know. We gotta find out. It has so much more. Yeah, the maintenance room, the office. I think this is the true ending, no? It should be. Because it's giving all the credits. Like it was written and designed by Davey Redden and William Pugh. I don't know if I am actually pronouncing it correctly. I'm pretty sure that's Colin Eddings and Jack Parsons. Jesus! I didn't know Jesus was into programming. Damn. Figurist. That's a pretty cool last name though. Robin Arnott. Robin Canatnet. Eduardo Ortiz. And then Kevon Brighting as the narrator. Oh, Kevon. Now I know your name. Alright, Mr. Brighting. You're so bright. Is that Sydney Sweeney's brother? Shane Sweeney? Oh, good. Made using source by Valve. Kevin McLeod. Siddhartha Barnhorn. What the fuck kind of last name are those? Dean Darko. Taggart. Wow. Amazing. Rye Soderberg. Maxim Labeled. Am I pronouncing it correctly? I don't know. Andreas Jorgensen or Jorgensen. I don't fucking know. Yanis. Eonides. Blake Robinson. That's the most whitest name I've ever read. Blake Robinson. Okay. Christian Backer. Wow. Leslie Staples. Aviva Las Vegas. I mean, you're just asking for it now with your name. Jenny Coughlin. Simon Boxer. Mika Lati. Jason Raymond. Cassidy Gerber. Mike Dunkel. Peter Wyckoff. So all of them are the creator. Oh, that's pretty nice. Office clock, and then what is here? So it's showing me everything.
Then he pushed the number 4.
Oh,
When
what?
Stanley came to the lift, he traveled upward to the
Kevin Writing, the voice of the narrator, recorded
to
dialogue
end this injustice.
for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that
Now
were
look
not
closely,
used
Stanley. See how it's impossible for
in
the
the
player to
final
do
game.
anything in this room. Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on. Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room? Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively if you have even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design. But of course, you being you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you.
That is so cool, man. I mean, props to Kevin writing. It was a good narrator, especially like his voice encapsulate the narration of how things will play out, especially like let's say as the game goes by, you can tell that he really emphasizes a lot on like mocking you, which is pretty cool. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Okay. From Lance Perkins, subject: I have burning questions. For instance, on a scale of max, what? How serious? I didn't even. What the hell kind of name is that? Sivola? Final warning. Anthony W. What is this strange numbers? Can you tell me what the significance of the number 11112800 is? Hmm. Anthony. Anthony Elias. I think that's the correct. James Irvin. Okay. Wong Young at Wong Young 05 Rediff Mail. What? Are you gay? Dink dunk. Subject gay. Are you gay? Damn. I guess he was onto something. Like Harris. Sent from iPad. Hmm. And people can read this. Dear narrator. Cameron. Boris Gaines. Wow. Damn. Pixel Sith. Michael the Rock Martin. So that's the cousin of Dwayne the Rock Johnson then. Quackster. Question. Will the game feature capybaras? What? Capybara. Oh, capybaras. Are you a rock? Otto Tampio. Damn. I guess we gotta find out if I am a rock. Dear narrator. Oh, it just goes back. Okay. So these are everything that we know of. This is, I guess, Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. So that's the first one. It went from that to this, and then to this. Which I prefer this one actually, because it has more like depth to it, you know? Like you really can tell that Stanley is struggling with his life, and that he probably doesn't like working as a desk person. What? Countdown desk, one of the desks from an early version of the Countdown ending. Freedom ending. Oh.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
But are we free?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time